locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. We're having ourselves a pretty good day. We're inside. A little chilly out there, Jonathan Dent.
We're having ourselves a good day, partially because we're inside.
Yes. And I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be, as long as the heater is on. We've got wind chill out there. We've got some pretty chilly temperatures. Are we going to hit 40 today, you think, John?
I think so.
Yeah.
We're on our way there. Right now out at the airport, cloudy skies with 37 degrees. Downtown Midlands at 36. Here at Radio Center, also 37. But it won't feel like 40.
No.
Wind out of the west, 20 miles per hour, gusting up to 30, giving us a wind chill of 27. So
yeah, we had some wind chills about 18 degrees around the Great Lakes Bay area earlier this morning. That wind died down a little bit, but not that much. The interesting thing is it's coming out of the west and out of the southwest. That's what's been happening. We shouldn't be getting these cold temperatures along with that type of breeze, but we are. It's just one of those things with the low pressure systems doing what they're doing, which is tracking into the central part of the continental United States and then moving almost right straight north, maybe a little northeastward, but they're staying west of us. So as a result, we're getting that counterclockwise circulation, and the air that's behind it is really cold. I mean, some of these folks in Colorado, all the way up into Montana, as far south as New Mexico, they're looking at temperatures running about 10 to 15 degrees below average for them. So there's not a whole lot of warm air associated with any of this activity. Now, we're going to break that string as we move through and into the second half of the work week, but then we're going to be right back down in it. And our long-range outlooks seem to think here toward and through the end of the month, into the first part of May, we're going to be looking at below-average temperatures. But again, not much below, but still below. And by the end of the month, average should be 60 degrees as far as our high temperatures go, and pretty close to 40 as far as the lows are concerned. So I guess if there was anything good about this cooler air, and you really got to think, but there was something that is good. It's holding things back just a little bit because our trees and the blooming things were really taking off. And it was kind of scary because we're talking orchards here in Michigan. We're talking a lot of plants and a lot of vines. It wouldn't take much more, and then with a little bit of juice behind it, and we got some rain, that things would really start to explode. I don't think they've gone too far yet from what I've been told from a lot of folks, so I don't think we're going to be looking at damage per se. But driving around, you are seeing a few of the flowering trees and that they're beginning to break bud. So very pretty right now. It would have been a shame to have probably another 5-6 days of this above average temperatures and then get hit with this the first part of May. Yeah. And we've had that happen. Now, a year ago today, I don't know how many of you remember this, but a year ago today, our high was 38 and our low was 28. Michigan's thumb was under a winter weather advisory. We were here in the Great Lakes Bay area. 3 to 6 inches of snow is in the forecast for Huron County, eastern Tuscola County, and Sanilac County. Across the northern part of the Lower Peninsula, that winter weather advisory was translated into 4 to 7 inches of snow. Now, we picked up about a half inch of snow, measurable amount of snow. It was on the ground. That was a year ago today. And for the month of April, we had somewhere around a half inch accumulating of snow. Now, that compares to a trace so far this year. And that's all we got over the last couple of days or so, just traces. And it does appear as though we're going to see that again as we move into the weekend, the upcoming weekend. But for the most part, let's savor with at least 45 degrees for a high today. We saw glimpses of sun. We'll see a few more sunny glimpses, and then things will clear off. I want to say after 5 o'clock this afternoon, that's when we're finally going to, we'll see some sun that's going to stay. Tonight with clear skies, a low of 30. Sun will set this evening at 8:23, rise tomorrow morning at 6:48. Then tomorrow, we'll get up pretty close to normal, 56 for a high, 42 for a low tomorrow night. Sun, but then clouds as we go through the day. And then I'm looking for low pressure system over eastern Nebraska is going to push a warm front up through the state tomorrow. And that is going to generate a chance of some showers right before sunset, maybe 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow night is when we're going to begin to see that. And the scattered shower activity will spill over into the day on Thursday, but along with that is going to come 75 degrees for a high on Thursday, 44 for a low. The roller coaster ride continues, 62 for a high on Friday. Partly cloudy skies, but still some showers around spilling over into the evening hours, 42 for a low. And then Saturday looks like an on again, off again rainy day, 45 for a high, 32 for a low. Sunday, some clouds around, maybe a chance of a sprinkle or two early, 45 for a high, 32 for a low. And then Monday, the last Monday of the months of April, partly cloudy skies with a high of 50. Record high in the state is 87, set back in 2002. The record low, 22, set in 1926. That's it as far as our weather goes.
With our wind chill, we're approaching that record low.
Yeah, we
today.
are.
Yeah,
I don't even want to think about it. That's it as far as our weather is concerned. We'll have more on again, off again hints at the weather as we go through the program. But coming up next, what do we have, Jonathan?
For our market report today, we'll be talking with Doug Klein from Oppenheimer. Then we'll get those cash and new crop grain prices for you from MAC and Breckenridge. All of that's coming up. But first, the weather report today brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Weiss Equipment. If you've ever wondered how the farm all got its name, well, there's a really good reason. It farms all: baling, cutting, hay, feeding, hauling, loading, fertilizing, mixing feed, chopping, seeding, clearing, irrigating, furrowing, cultivating, digging, emergency towing, harrowing, hoisting, leading parades, and there's going to be a little bit of that coming up, excavating, grading. You kind of get the idea, because these farm all tractors have a horsepower range of anywhere from 35 to 140 horses. So it can do just about anything you want it to do. And the folks at Weiss Equipment and Frankenmuth will show you that the job done, well, getting the job done starts with choosing the right farm all tractor. That's why they carry the wide range of Case IH Compact Farm All Series tractors, from the Value Pack Compact Farm All A to the Deluxe Compact Farm All C and C Series with cabs. So no matter what you're doing, Can Do comes in red, and it's called Farm All. For more, just stop by the folks at Weiss Equipment and Frankenmuth, doing it right longer. Well, crop progress report came out, Jonathan. We'll touch base on that in just a little bit. But before we do that, I don't know if that influenced the markets at all or not. But let's find out first what's going on in Chicago, because not all is contingent on the weather when we talk to Doug Klein.
Absolutely. And not all is contingent on the crop progress either.
No.
Doug, what's going on today?
Well, the only thing I've seen today is one Fed governor was talking. Bostic is his last name, and he basically said, "Looks like we're going to raise rates in May, 0.25%, and then be done for an extended period of time." So, I mean, that's kind of what everybody expects. So hopefully, it isn't a huge shocker in 2 weeks when they do that. The only thing really moving good today was the stock market, but that didn't last very long. Right now, kind of sort of trending closer to, negative 0.1% or so. Not a huge big deal. Goldman Sachs came out with their earnings and they missed on their revenue side. I can't imagine why, because they were responsible for the SVB Financial going under, so they made billions of dollars on that deal when that went under, but apparently that was an illegal trade, so they couldn't report that or something. And Bank of America, they reported better than expected earnings, so it was kind of a mixed thing.
Illegal trade? Does that happen?
Kind of short. They shorted something. They didn't admit what it was. 60 million shares of stock they shorted, and they didn't own it, and they didn't borrow it. So just happens that SVB Financial has 59 million shares of stock total. So I don't know. I draw conclusions probably, but they did pay a $3 million fine for that $6 billion in profit. Whatever.
Oh boy.
It must be difficult to sleep at night when you're a banker, but it happens. What can you say? But so anyway, precious metals up a little bit, kind of still, in a trend. So that's about all that's really, really green today. November soybeans up a little bit. That's about it. Here's your numbers. The May corn is 6.77, up a whole half a penny. December corn is 5.68, up a penny and a quarter. The May soybeans 15.16.5, down a half a penny. The November soybeans 13.19 and a quarter, up 7 3/4. The May wheat is 6.93.5, down 3 cents, and the December wheat is 7.30 3/4, down 2.5. Crude oil holding up okay, 81.40. That's 57 cents higher. Heating oil is 262.46. That's up a penny. Gasoline is 276.89, down a half a penny. Natural gas 267 1/4. That's up 2 cents. Currencies: Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3389. That's pretty much unchanged. The dollar buys 134.09 yen. That's down 37 ticks. The euro's at 109.59. That's up 33 ticks. The dollar's at 101.76. That's down 33 ticks. Gold is at $2,001.40, up $7.20. Silver's 25.35. That's up 26 cents. And platinum, that's the big rocker today, 11.01, up $41.40.
Yeah, doing a little boogie in there.
Yeah, it is.
You take care, Doug.
All right, good luck.
You bet. Talk to you later. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. How all of this influences the cash paying prices on the board at MAC. Let's slide over to Breckenridge and take a look and see what's going on. Right now, the wheat is down 3. White wheat is at 6.43. The red wheat at 6.08. New crop 7.04 for the white, 6.29 for the red. Corn is down a penny at 6.27. The new crop is up a penny at 5.08. The soybeans at MAC and Breckenridge up a penny at 14.86. New crop is up 6 at 12.58. Market report brought to you by the folks at Krizak's House Family Restaurant. You got to put together something for a big event coming up, graduation parties, anniversaries, family reunions, just get-togethers. Mother's Day, don't forget that. You can't. 989-894-5531 is the number. If you need Krizak's to supply the food or you want to get reservations for Mother's Day at Krizak's House, what a great idea. What a great gift idea for mom. Krizak's House, corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. Also, market report brought to you by the folks at Steiner Tractor. New parts for old tractors made easy, real easy. Dan tells me that if there's a part out there that you need, the chances are real good he's got it in the warehouse. Give him a call at 800-234-3280 or go to steinertractor.com. Okay, Jonathan, I'm just taking a look at this crop progress. Michigan, the big surprise to me, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise, but it was. All the sugar beets that went in, according to the government.
Yeah.
Almost 40% of the beet acreage
Really?
went in one shot.
I knew there were a lot. I didn't know it was quite
Yeah,
that much.
Well, the planters are pretty good size if you've ever witnessed them driving down the road or whatever. But 39% of the sugar beets in the state were planted as of Sunday. That compares to the 5-year average of 19. And last year, there wasn't a beet planted anywhere as of the 16th of April. The other thing, soybeans, about 1% is in the ground. 2% of the barley's been planted so far. Oats, they're putting oats in about 5%, but the 5-year average is 14. So we're running a little bit behind on that. But when you take a look at the around the country, in particular, 12 states already started planting corn and soybeans, according to the USDA. As of Sunday, 8% of the nation's corn crop is now in the ground, which is a 5% point jump from last week. It's also 3 points higher than the average 5 years and 4 points ahead of last year's corn planting pace. Soybean planting for the year, the agency reported 4% of the nation's soybean crop is in the ground. That's 3 percentage points ahead of average and 3 points above last year. And they've broken it out pretty much state by state. What we're looking at, corn down in Texas is 65% ahead of where they were a year ago. And looking at Missouri, 30% ahead. Kansas, 17% ahead. This is the corn. Indiana was 3% ahead. Illinois was 10%. Iowa, 7%. Nebraska was at 2% and Colorado 1%. Corn acreage was 23% ahead in Tennessee, 28% ahead in North Carolina, and 14% ahead in Kentucky. So some pretty amazing numbers. But again, it was all a function of that warm weather, not only here, but all across the continental United States. Who do we have up now?
Right now, we're going to go over to Bay Landscaping and Garden Center and talk with Jerry Samolsky. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning. Boy, all those guys getting all that stuff in is good stuff. Last week was a good week to get things done. And this week, we can still get it done, but it just isn't as pleasant as it was last week, huh?
Boy, I guess not. You got to wear the ear flaps today.
Yeah, no, it's yesterday. The guys were out and it was a miserable day, but they got a lot of things done. So, I mean, if you have to, you can, and we can still get it done. And what do we do right now? Well, we do everything. We plant, we clean up, we trim. We can do a lot of things right now, and Terry, and it's just not enough time in a day to get it all done.
Kind of a question was raised yesterday because we are seeing so many of the blooming things out there blooming right now. Any issues, any problems with this weather and for some of these beautiful, gorgeous plants that are blooming?
Yeah, like the magnolias always seem to have a problem when they come out. They're big and they're beautiful, and then we either get a terrible windstorm, or then the petals blow off, or we get a freeze and they turn black and then fall off. I think, Terry, if we're going to keep 31, 33, I think we're going to be okay. These are just for aesthetics, so we're not growing fruit. We might have a little bit of a loss of production at 31, and if it's 31 for a short period of time, we might be okay. But when it gets really, really cold, and it gets when we hit something in the 20s, that's just smoke and everything, and it's all done. So right now, I don't think it's going to be too bad. A lot of things that are out there can take it, but I think the fruit producers, they've got something to be concerned about.
All right. Good information. Jerry, you take care. Have a good one, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Up next,
we're going to talk with Craig Voorhees from the Rummel Agency. Craig, how are you today?
Oh, we're doing okay, fellas. How about you?
Well, we went from dry weather to wet weather, And now your topic today has got to do with a little bit more water than you'd care to have.
Right. I didn't hear the full forecast, but I don't think we're looking for any major amounts of rain in the near future. Is that correct?
That's right. Thank goodness.
Right. And so now when things are dry, it's just about the exact time you should be thinking about flood insurance. Maybe a little bit of an oxymoron there, but the flood policies, we can't put those in place just 2 or 3 days before the rain shows up. There is a 30-day wait period on those. So if you're prone to spring flooding or on a floodplain and are considering flood insurance, make sure you're talking about it now, because again, we can't put that in place in the short notice. That's the government rules we have to play by.
I know where there's some folks that had a little issue or two with sub pumps. You want to just touch on that real quickly?
Sure. That's another thing that, we can't put any coverages in place after the fact. So again, we have to do everything prior to. That's why we're always talking about the proverbial what ifs. But sump pump coverage is a separate line item on your policy, and it has typically a smaller limit than, say, your actual coverage on your house. So you want to make sure, especially if you've got a finished basement, that you've got enough coverage on that should a sump pump fail or the sewer back up if you're in town to cover those kind of events.
Yeah, we haven't had, other than that one little spell, we haven't had too many issues with a lot of water that could possibly get in the basements. But one thing that a lot of folks don't think of is when you have an appliance like a heater or something that, a hot water heater, a water softener, that sort of stuff, you don't have to have a flood outside to have a flood inside if something happens to those.
Right. Some pumps wear out and even backup sometimes fail. So, make sure you're checking on them and make sure you've got the right coverage to put everything back together should something like that unfortunately happen.
Good advice. Craig, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
We will. You too.
You bet. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Coming up next,
we'll be talking with Jerry Reif. He's an attorney here in Saginaw. All of that's ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let's touch base with Jerry right now.
Right now?
Yeah,
All right.
while we've got him on the phone. Our farm attorney, our agricultural-based attorney, Jerry Reif. Jerry, understand you've got a pretty important meeting coming up that we need to tell the folks about.
Yes, I do. Actually, it's tomorrow. Are you prepared? We're talking about estate planning, asset protection, Medicaid planning, nursing home, etc. We talk about that. It's tomorrow at Capolco Credit Union on Cabaret Trail. That's just south of McCarty and just west of Bay. So it's easy to find. 2:00 tomorrow, April 19th. And the public is invited. Bring your questions. We love those questions. We have annual reviews for physicals and dentists. And, of course, you got a tax preparation every year. And, of course, with the physicals, you hope that you come away with a clean bill of health. And it's always a good feeling. Well, estate planning is the same way. People come to the office and they say, well, I just want something that's simple. I agree totally. But simple means it's going to work. It doesn't mean one-page document. That could be a ticking time bomb, but you want to make sure it's going to work. Well, the time to do that is when you're alive and competent and can make changes if you have to. That's what this is all about. So we invite people to go to Capolco tomorrow at 2:00, for a free workshop. Bring your questions, multiply everything with your questions. And beyond that, we're happy to do a review of documents if you have any. We do a free analysis. We're happy to do those as well. I tell everybody that basically I'm your coach, but you're the quarterback.
There you go.
You have to know where the goal is for you.
You got to know who to hand the ball off to.
That's right.
There you go. Right. Jerry, take care again. 790-1461 is the telephone number to call. That meeting is tomorrow at 2:00. Yep. Yeah. Jerry, thanks a lot. Take care.
Yep. Bye.
All righty. Let's find out if we need some help with these boys in New York, Jonathan.
I think we always do. Steve Anderson from Baird & Company joining us now. Steve, good morning.
And good morning to you.
How are we looking?
Well, we got a little more red than green this morning, I fear. Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 33,890. That puts it down 97 points on 270 million shares. The NASDAQ is at 12,131. That's down 27 points on 368 million shares. Locally, Caterpillar 224.58 down 68, Deere 395.45 up 403, CMS 60.62 down 72, Dow 56.50 down 40, DuPont 70.98 down 17, Corteva 62.69 down 8, GM 35.17 up 3, Trinzio is 20.60 down 16, Walmart 149.94 up 42, Huntington Bank 11.57 down 14, Independent Bank 16.90 down 27, and AT&T is down 4 cents at 19.75. So I've given you better reports than that on occasion.
Yes, you have. That's why we'll have you on again soon. Okay, you take care,
All right,
Steve.
sounds good. Yep. Bye-bye.
All righty, we'll be right back.
As a farmer, you're always thinking ahead, planning and preparing for the next season. You know that a profitable yield depends on weather and timing. While Morgan Composting can't control the weather, they can save you time, from enhancing your soil before planting season with Dairy Dew compost blends to boosting growth with Dairy Dew granulated fertilizers, and finishing the growing season strong with powerful liquid foliants made with kelp, humic, and fulvic acid. Morgan Composting has everything you need to get things going and get things growing in a complete package. Whether your farming operation is a greenhouse, an orchard, or thousands of acres of row crops, save time by getting your entire fertility plan made in one place. Morgan Composting, serving Michigan farmers for more than 25 years. Call the soil health experts now at Morgan Composting or visit dairydew.com to learn more.
Dairy Dew. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.